They say the most dangerous thing you can bring aboard a boat is a schedule, because the sea doesn't care about your plans.
In this episode, Captain Josh battles a gnarly river entrance that fights him every inch of the way, but the real surprise waits at the dock. He travels halfway around the world only to park his Elling E4 right next to a Linssen, the exact same brand he still owns back in Seattle. He'll explain that bittersweet reality in just a moment. Josh is an American who waited 15 years to buy his dream boat, the Dutch-built Elling E4 that he named Zeeotter, or Sea Otter in Dutch. He raised his kids, took a break from work, and now he's stepped far outside his comfort zone to explore the world. And of course, Josh and his crew witness an RNLI rescue right from the stern of Zeeotter. This video is under 10 minutes, and it took days to produce. The channel is still growing, so every single view truly matters. Please watch to the end, hit like if you enjoyed it, share it if you loved it, and if it wasn't worth your time, a thumbs down is okay too. Your feedback helps make each episode better. Enjoy the journey.
Berwick-upon-Tweed, like so many ports on the East Coast, requires careful timing. The coastal waters are shallow, and timing is important because so many of the entrances dry out. There are also concerns for steep waves that can hinder your approach to the port entrances. Most entrances have ideal tide times and sea states. When I'm on these passages, I make it a point to not just check the weather, but monitor it. I'm monitoring it days ahead and looking far off. Occasionally the forecasts are off, but I have to say, they're getting really good at it. I trust the forecast to a degree. 770 hours on the motor, half full of water, half diesel, coolant level on par, 1 bar of pressure on the ray core, slightly elevated, but I'm monitoring the situation closely. At 5:55 a.m., we slip the lines and head out the swing bridge with other fishing boats. Forecast shows winds to 20 knots. Whitby was an all-around wonderful stop. Another day would have been nice, but time is running out. I'm starting to feel the pressure now. The days are slipping by, the weather already stole a week from me, and who knows what the forecast will be in the weeks ahead. I'm running out of time to make it around the UK. My current crew is leaving soon, and I promised the new crew I'd pick them up on schedule in the Netherlands. I overpromised. I was having doubts. I'm looking at the calendar, doing the math, and the anxiety is real.
2 ports in 5 days, fuel every third. What's X supposed to be again? Blast these numbers. To stick to the stars.
Don't get me wrong, I love the adventure, but there are moments where the logistics, the tides, the fuel, the weather, all of it sits heavy on my mind. Still, this is what I signed up for. I wanted to grow as a captain. I wanted a challenge that would help me grow, and that's exactly what this journey is doing. Even with the worry, even with the delays, we are still moving forward. Speaking about nerves, the entrance to Berwick-upon-Tweed can be gnarly.
You'll want to keep your nerves, skipper. The Tweed Disney forgive a sloppy approach.
Strong tides, a shifting bar, and a narrow channel mean you have to get it right or else. The passage was pleasant, slight chop, light swell. I read that you should contact the harbor master on VHF Channel 12 before attempting entry to get advice on entrance conditions and docking procedures.
Well, they're not answering.
We follow the plotted course towards the port. At first, everything looks great. Then, Zeeotter starts to really slow down. The guides mentioned there could be strong river current, and they were right. I believe it hit 4.5 knots at one point. Zeeotter holds her course, and we meander our way in. It's not a straight course. It's literally a river full of banks taking us to the inner harbor. We arrive, slightly dismayed, because there are already 2 boats on the dock, so we side-tied next to another Dutch-built boat, a Linssen. I know the brand and build quality well. In fact, I own one and keep her in Seattle. I was supposed to sell it after I bought this one and use the proceeds to bring this one back to Seattle and pay for the taxes and transport. But I ran into a couple of snags. 1, I discovered I like traveling in Europe on a boat, and 2, I love my Linssen Dutch Sturdy way too much. I had a buyer lined up, and soon before they arrived, I called him back and said, "I'm sorry, even a full-priced offer is not enough."
I am prepared to offer $1 billion for that delightful vessel. Not for sale. Everyone has a...
So, I'm stuck with 2 boats. I'll sort this problem out in a few years. For now, I'll just keep enjoying my Dutch boating adventures. We arrived at 6:50 p.m. It was a long 12-hour day. Glad we made it without event. Berwick-upon-Tweed is a fine place to tie up. It's rather commercial where we were. We were tired and just chilled out after a long passage. We were planning to leave the next day, but the winds were really kicking up, so we would stay. That would allow us a chance to go into town and explore. Berwick-upon-Tweed sits right on the English-Scottish border, and its history is pure chaos. The town changed hands more than a dozen times during the medieval wars, which is why it's ringed with massive walls and the remains of a fortified castle. Even its name reflects its past. Berwick comes from Old English, Bere meaning barley and wick meaning settlement. Literally, the barley town. It looks peaceful now, but this place was once one of the most fought-over towns in Britain. Today, 3 bridges span the River Tweed. Good thing we decided to stay. The wind was blowing something fierce. I headed back to the boat to check my lines. Everything was secure, but the wind just kept coming. Soon after I returned to the boat, I saw a sailboat coming into port. I was thinking to myself, who in their right mind would want to be out there? Then I saw an RNLI boat following them in. I wondered what was happening. As it turns out, the sailboat was having engine issues and was concerned that they wouldn't make it in without the engine stalling. So the RNLI was summoned for assistance. You can see how rough the conditions were in this photo. Check out those white caps. I don't typically get starstruck, but I do when I see the RNLI in action. They're all volunteers and out there risking their lives to help those in need. Hopefully, I will never need their help, but it's comforting knowing they are always there. If you'd like to learn a little more about the RNLI, watch the video I made where we toured the lifeboat factory in Cowes. That video is called 6 Weeks to Circumnavigate.
Reverse. Lightly.
No more. Alright, we're on the front deck.
Thank you so much. It's been a long day. We appreciate it. I'm glad it worked, but if you're being with us early on, help because we didn't know if it would conk out on us, so appreciate it.
Have a look, save the second.
Tomorrow, we have a tricky departure ahead. It's not about the weather, and it's not about the fuel. We have plenty to get to Arbroath and beyond if need be. The issue is the neighbors. When you are side-tied to another vessel, the rule is simple. The inside boat dictates the departure time. Our neighbors wanted to leave at 6 a.m. sharp. That was aggressive, in my opinion. Arbroath is a tide-restricted harbor. You can't just roll in whenever you want. You need water depth. Leaving at 8 a.m. would have been perfect. Leaving at 6 a.m. meant we'd have to throttle way back and crawl up the coast for hours just to kill time for the tide to rise. But you have to be a gentleman on the water. If the tides were turned, pun intended, I wouldn't want to be held hostage. So we woke up early, moved Zeeotter, and let them out.
Before we part for the day, I'd like to tell you what's coming up next week. First stop, buying 1,000 liters of fuel in a place that should probably come with a waiver. It's inexpensive, but is it worth it? Then Captain Josh and his crew pushes north on a 120-mile marathon sprint to Peterhead, a major milestone. On the way, Scotland's Vessel Traffic Service rolls out the red carpet like Zeeotter is a VIP of the North Sea. And just when Josh thinks he can relax after the 15-hour passage, a very unusual guest climbs aboard. With your feedback, this channel will only improve. Would you mind letting us know in the comments what you enjoyed most in this video and what did you appreciate the least? Thank you for watching. We are looking forward to seeing you next time as we continue exploring the UK and beyond, port to port.